The uncomfortable truth about learning how to be patient is not you having to wait, but how you are reacting and responding when you are waiting. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it's not in line, which means it is not for you, so don't force it.
Well, as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes for today's video.
We're going to go over and discuss the uncomfortable truths about being present and being still in your current reality, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and just certain things that you should be aware of. So starting off with the introduction, starting off the first disclaimer, learning to be patient is a skill if this is something that you have been struggling with. So in order for you to accept where you are despite how you feel, or if you feel like you want to be here or not, you must learn to be grateful for what you've already witnessed and what you've already gone through. Until you're able to acknowledge that you're not where you used to be and that you are making progress, you will constantly hold yourself back mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, or even financially and consciously. This is why people have PTSD, because they're so connected to their past mindsets, emotions, behaviors, people and places and things that you're meant to leave there. You have to know that there is a time and a place, and that there are certain seasons and there are certain chapters where you're going to go through certain things. And how I know how it's not going to be permanent is because you're not going to live forever. Now, the second disclaimer, in order for you to be content with that and accept that, is to realize you are going to have to make the necessary changes. When you're making changes, yes, in the beginning, it may feel uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. But you have to ask yourself, do I want to continue to be depressed? Do I want to continue to be anxious? Do I want to continue to have PTSD? Do I want to continue to be mad? PTSD? Do I want to continue to suffer? Or am I going to just have to throw this temper tantrum and show up for myself until I no longer feel angry? Because it's like, until you're able to process what has happened to you and what you need to do to move forward, you're not going to move forward. You're going to continue to be bitter. You're going to continue to be angry. So the third disclaimer is allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling as you're changing and as you're growing in life. Learning to be patient. If you struggle with patience, it's not that it's impossible, but you just have to realize, if you weren't taught and shown how to wait, if you weren't taught and shown how to apply yourself, if you've never felt like you were capable of accomplishing your goals or being the person you want to be, it's going to require a lot of energy. It's going to require a lot of effort, and most importantly, it's going to require a lot of reassurance. So it's like, this is the fourth disclaimer before I get into that. You can't rush and you can't compare yourself. You have to realize that, for example, if you have a physical goal to become physically healthier and to be more fit, and let's just say last year you weighed 200 pounds, but this year you want to weigh 100 pounds. Going from 200 pounds to 100 pounds is a 100-pound difference, meaning you're going to have to work out for some time. You're going to exercise. You're going to have to change. Or let's just say 200 to maybe like 180, because that may be drastic, trying to lose 100 pounds. It's possible, but you know your situation, and this is why it's so important to be practical, because it's like, just because you want to do something doesn't mean it's impossible, but you have to be honest about what you're able to do, and that's going to be part of the recommendations. But it's like, you have to know that if you want to, let's just say 200 to 180, because I feel like that's something that most people are used to doing, because 100 may be, like I said, drastic if you've never done it before. If you have done it before, let me know, and let other people know what you did so they can do it too, okay? But it's like, you have to be mindful. You're doing something that you're not used to doing. You're doing something that requires you to do things differently. And in the beginning, when you're trying to lose weight and you've always felt overweight, or you've never felt healthy, or people bullied you, or people made fun of you, you're going to feel emotionally some type of way, and that's fine. But just because you have those emotions in the beginning doesn't mean you're going to have those emotions throughout the entire process. And in order to raise your vibration and get to where you need to be, you're going to have to continue to reassure yourself. And that's going to be the fifth disclaimer before I get into the first recommendation. Learn to reassure yourself. And the best way for you to reassure yourself is to create affirmations. So I'm challenging you in the comment section when you see this video and on your notes to come up with 3 to 5 affirmations that you can reassure yourself with as you're going after your goals. And when you have these affirmations, to make sure you're putting in the work. If you don't put in the work, if you're not showing up, you repeating these affirmations is going to drive you insane. You're not going to believe it. You have to believe in what you say. And in order for you to believe in what you say, you have to continue to put in the work and do what needs to be done. And that's the first recommendation. In order for you to continue to deal with this uncomfortable discomfort as you're evolving, as you're changing, as you're doing the things that you say you want to do in life, you have to learn to be present. You have to learn how to be present. You're going to have to learn how to breathe physically. You're going to emotionally have to learn how to regulate your nervous system. And mentally, you're going to have to continue to reassure yourself. This is why the fifth disclaimer is similar to the first recommendation. Constantly reassuring yourself. Constantly pouring into yourself. Positive self-talk is real. You're going to have to do it, though, for a while until it becomes a habit. So I'm challenging you for the whole month of June, or let me know when you're watching this, that every single day you reassure yourself with your affirmations, as well as doing what you need to do. So as you're writing down your affirmations, as you're putting them in the comment section, as you're saying them, you also need to figure out what can you do. Don't worry about what you need to do in the future. Don't worry about what you need to do in your past, because the past is done and over with. You can't go backwards, and the future hasn't started just yet. You create your future by being in the present moment. So this doesn't mean that you may not know what you want to do, but if, let's just say you have a goal, like I said, to lose 100 pounds, and you currently lost maybe 20 pounds from the 200, worrying about losing the rest of the 80 pounds is not something that you need to be so overwhelmed about, because the more you're overwhelmed about things that's out of your control, the more anxious you're going to feel, and the more you're going to feel like it's impossible, and that's when the doubt and the fear starts to creep in. Use what you have today and just worry about that. As long as you're doing what you can, the thing will work out for you when it's time. And that's going to be the second recommendation. You don't know how long something is going to take until you accomplish it. So yes, it's good to have a routine. Yes, it's good to have maybe a deadline. Yes, it's good to, when and how you want to do certain things. But speaking from experience, sometimes things don't always work out when you want them to. And it's like, what happens if things don't work out when you want them to? What happens if you don't lose the weight when you said that you wanted to lose weight? Are you going to give up? No. You have to be okay with doing everything that you can and learning as you grow, because that's all you can do. Unless you have the resources, unless you have the tools, unless you have the finances, unless you have community or people that are pouring into you and helping you, you're going to have to figure it out for yourself. And that's how you learn how to be patient. And that's what nobody wants to hear. And that's going to lead us into the fourth recommendation. You're going to have days where sometimes you feel great. Then you may have days where you're just like, I'm tired. Then you're going to have days where you're just going to feel like nothing is working out. You still have to show up, love. It's so important that when you feel tired, that you rest. When you feel excited, that you go all in. And when you feel like nothing is working out for you, you just reflect on how much time and how much energy you made. And most importantly, I want you to ask yourself, are you where you need to be? And that's going to be the fifth and final recommendation. If you're not where you need to be in life, you cannot give up. So whatever questions, whatever goals, anything that you need reassurance with, make sure you're engaging, liking, commenting, and following down below. Follow me on all my social media platforms. All my information is linked in the description. And if you're interested in a service and a session where you need more one-on-one intimate vibes, click the link. Drop the word website if you've been having technical difficulties. But when you guys follow me on my social media platforms, specifically on Instagram and on TikTok, that's where I'll be going live. If you want me to go live, drop the word live, but that's where I usually go live to talk about these things. Because it's not that we are not disciplined in life, because we already have been disciplined. You've been disciplined to go to school, you've been disciplined to take care of your personal hygiene, you've been disciplined to, read and write. It's not something that you can't learn. It's just when you want certain things in life and you're not used to doing them, you have to make it a priority. You have to be able to learn and grow, because that's how you're going to get there. once again, if your goal is to physically be healthier and you're used to being obese, or you're used to not being healthy, or you're used to eating junk food or food that's not good for you, learning to cut that off when that's all you knew is going to take time. It's going to require effort, and I'm speaking from experience. I'm currently on a diet. I've been on a diet, and me dieting, it's not new, but realizing like, okay, in order for me to continue to get to where I want with this goal, I have to continue to make the necessary changes. And sometimes, you guys, I want something sweet. Now, of course, I'm not going to get too deep into that because I didn't want to make this video too much longer, but it's like, you're going to have moments sometimes where you're just like, I want something sweet. You have to ask yourself, okay, if I eat something sweet, is this going to affect me? Am I able to have moderation? Am I able to have boundaries? If I eat something sweet, am I going to continue to crave something sweet, or should I just discipline myself and just tell myself, no, I can't do this? When you want to heal yourself from poverty, having to go to work, having to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, of course you may not want to work 2 or 3 jobs, but if that's what you need to do to get to your financial goal, what could you do? We can't complain about the things that we want if we really want them, because it's like, the more you get excited, the more you continue to push yourself, the more you get past the limitations that have been blocking you, the more you'll be able to appreciate what you need to do, and you'll start to become excited, and that's when things start to become lighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and end off the video because I want to record the rest of the videos that I have for you. So make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and engaging, but most importantly, you're not alone. I love you. You're loved. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.